You are not going to believe this. I couldn't believe it when this showed up on my newsfeed this morning. Before I started this channel, I had forgotten that the WNBA even existed. Over the last couple of years, I have become more familiar with the WNBA than I would like to admit. I can't pass a garbage can without thinking about all those beautiful dump divers who process that trash. When I'm walking the dog every day and we pass by young kids shooting basketball at the park, seeing airball after airball, it makes me think about quality WNBA basketball. One thing about me, I am not afraid to admit when I'm wrong. For years, I have included the WNBA in the category of huge embarrassing failure. As you guys know, very few people or organizations satisfy the requirements to make this esteemed category. You have got to be inside the 1% of the 1% to even be considered a huge embarrassing failure. Now, of course, Bomani Jones, our reigning undefeated champion. No one does failure like Bomani Jones. We have our new number one contender, Jemele Hill, Tiffer the Bongo Sniffer. She gave a valiant effort, but MSNBC ended her career of failure prematurely, so the Tiffer, she has been knocked back down to grade A shitfuck status. It is quite the accomplishment to have your organization next to legendary failures like Jemele Hill and Bomani Jones. For the longest time, the WNBA has fought hard to dethrone the Bobo, but I might have to downgrade their status. I might have to remove the WNBA from the huge embarrassing failure division because these unentertaining dump divers have finally found their niche. They have finally found something where they excel. Have you guys ever heard of the TIDES Foundation? Don't feel bad if you haven't. TIDES stands for the Institute for Diversity and Ethics in Sports. Now, with a name like this, you would think the TIDES Foundation is dedicated to pushing more white athletes in professional sports, right? I mean, if we are truly dedicated to diversity and inclusion, and we're an organization focused on sports, we would want to see more white athletes, right? Professional sports are dominated by black players because they're the best athletes. But if we want our leagues to be diverse, we need an organization like the TIDES Foundation to push more unathletic white players. If the TIDES Foundation was actually about diversity, that would be their goal. But they're not. The TIDES Foundation is another woke organization dedicated to baking Pound My Brown Cake. Every year, they release their annual report cards. Now, most normal people, we couldn't give a fuck less about these report cards. But this release, it is a big deal in the community of wanker spankers, especially the ones that are consistent failures. If you receive passing grades in diversity and inclusion, you can use this to justify your failing business. We might not turn a profit, but we are an A-plus organization when it comes to diversity. Who cares if we're not making money? We have representation of all marginalized groups. We have shovels, we have rakes, we have Jakes interested in Nates, we have cucumbers, we have woke wieners, we have Bob who wants to be Selena. Guess which garbage company received top grades from the TIDES Foundation? I'll give you a hint. It wasn't BFI. It wasn't Waste Management. It wasn't Clean Harbors. The title for most diverse garbage company in America was won by our bearded beauties in the WNBA dump. Matter of fact, the WNBA has won this award almost every year of their existence. Kathy Engelbert, she might not know how to make money, but she is damn sure proficient when it comes to diversity. Listen to these numbers and be amazed at the diversity in the WNBA. The TIDES Foundation breaks down their report card into categories. For the players, otherwise known as trash engineers, these are the employees that drive the big trucks and pick up your garbage at the end of your driveway. In the category of players, the WNBA received an A-plus grade. 81% of the players are what the TIDES Foundation calls people of color. That doesn't sound very diverse to me. But then I started reading the reasoning behind the grade, and it made perfect sense. Only 19% of trash engineers identify as evil. Now, I'm not talking about Joy Reid evil. I'm talking about the category of evil white man. But KC, the WNBA is filled with women, not men. Yeah, keep telling yourself that. During the 2021 season, 20% of the league was white. So, in the span of 12 months, the WNBA dropped a full percentage point when it comes to white players. Is it starting to make sense now? The WNBA actually became less diverse when you look at this logically. But the TIDES Foundation is run by woke shitfucks. Their definition of diversity is completely different than ours. There was an interesting side note included in this section. Now I'm going to read this to you verbatim. Quote, annually, the report card asks, are we playing fair when it comes to sports? Does everyone, regardless of race or gender, have a chance to score a basket? I would say no. Judging by these numbers, if you're a white woman, you have a very slim chance of making the WNBA. Another thing I thought was interesting about this note, why would gender be under consideration? Why would that be mentioned? The WNBA is a league supposedly for women, right? Pretty sure the W stands for women, although some of the dump divers would like to have it changed to wanker. Either way, though, why in the hell would gender be under consideration in a league filled with women? It doesn't make sense, but what the hell do I know? I'm not a shit fuck. Let's keep going, though. Let's move into coaches, also known as managers of the local dumps. Becky Hammon, for example, doing a fine job managing the dump in Las Vegas. My sources tell me casinos in Las Vegas have been very pleased with the service they're receiving from the dump. Trash is being picked up twice a day, and on special occasions, dump divers that will perform inside the casino, wowing people sitting at slot machines with their ability to miss the trash can from a distance of 6 inches. In the category of coaches, WNBA, once again, given an A+. 50% of coaches in the WNBA are people of color, with nearly 60% of that number choosing to identify as women. Again, that doesn't sound very diverse to me. Aren't we forgetting something? Aren't we forgetting the non-binary? If we are truly a diverse league, coaching positions should represent every gender. Now, of course, that's a problem for the WNBA. There's only 12 teams in the league. Birthing persons, they have almost 60 genders to choose from. So, what can we do here? We can't have a truly diverse league without representation from all gender choices. Let's put on our woke hats for a second, just a second, and think about this. Okay. It's starting to come to me. Okay, I've got it. I've got the perfect solution. We expand the league. Matter of fact, Kathy Engelbert thought of this same solution earlier this year. All year, Kathy Engelbert has been boasting about expanding the WNBA. We're taking our company national. We want to provide our services to all major cities across America. We've talked about the possibility of WNBA expansion a couple of times here on the channel. Pretty sure I told you guys this is a bad idea, not likely to happen. I mean, number one, you should probably worry about making a profit before expanding the league. If you're losing millions of dollars every year with 12 dumps, what makes you think adding an extra facility is going to tilt the balance sheet in your favor? And number two, there is no demand for another WNBA franchise. This season, the WNBA added 4 more games to the regular season. They've gone from 36 to 40. Why? I have no fucking idea. Same reason I have no idea why I'm still wearing that woke hat. But why? I have no idea why they're expanding. Kathy Engelbert continues operating with this mentality that giving people more of the WNBA will increase revenue and popularity. America has already voted with their wallet and their remote control. We want less of the WNBA, not more. Earlier this year, Kathy Engelbert claimed, "We will be announcing a new pretend basketball team at the end of the year." Well, it's the end of the year. No announcement. Why? Why no announcement? Well, we've been too busy this off-season working to free our object of worship, Bob Griner. Now that Bob has been returned to his cardboard box, we will look at expansion next year. Yeah, sure, Jan. Anyway, ran off on a tangent there. Back to the report card. TIDES Foundation gave the WNBA an overall A grade for diversity and inclusion. Not A plus, an A. TIDES claimed the only male-dominated league that comes close to replicating the diversity in the WNBA is the NBA. That's interesting. Let's look at this for a second, purely from a business perspective. This was the 18th consecutive year that the WNBA was given an A from the TIDES Foundation. Clearly, this league is dedicated to diversity and inclusion. They're not worried about hiring qualified candidates. The WNBA seems to have a race-based quota, gender-based quota. They want an equal number of women to men, equal number of black coaches to white coaches. For some reason, they're not worried about this level of diversity when it comes to the players, but that might not be their fault. Perhaps white women have no interest in obtaining a career as a garbage man. But from a business perspective, is diversity hiring working for the WNBA? Is hiring based on race and gender making them a profitable business? You already know the answer. Of all sports leagues here in America, the WNBA is by far the biggest failure. Now, most of that failure has to do with the product on the court, but a business can't survive if they're hiring people based on diversity. You hire the best candidate. Do I want my Pelicans to have 3 KCs on the floor along with Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram? No! You know why? KC sucks at basketball. Race and gender should never enter the equation when you're hiring someone, but anyway. What the hell do I know? You give me your thoughts. WNBA finally found success. They are the most diverse league in the country. Does anyone care? Let me know. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys tomorrow.